After Jeffrey Epstein died, there was a moment that felt like everything would finally come out. Names, networks, and consequences. For a brief moment, it felt like the silence had broken. It had not, because instead of collapse, something quieter happened. The system adjusted. Epstein didn't just leave behind accusations, he left behind records, core documents, emails, flight logs, and financial trails. What the public now calls the Epstein Files. For years, many of these documents remained sealed, officially, to protect victims, preserve investigations, and to manage legal complexity. All reasonable explanations. And yet, years passed. Still, no full transparency, no complete disclosure, and no clean reckoning. Because releasing everything wouldn't just expose one man, it will expose relationships. And relationships are harder to bury than crimes. When documents finally surfaced, something stood out immediately. Black bars, names removed, paragraphs erased, entire sections withheld. Redaction isn't neutral, it's a choice. Someone decides what you are allowed to know and what you are not. In most cases, redaction protects victims. In others, it protects the innocent. But in cases involving power, redaction can also protect stability. And stability in powerful systems is often valued above exposure. Notice what happened next. The story didn't expand, it narrowed. Instead of focusing on networks, accountability, systemic failure, the conversation shifted to prison conditions, psychology, debates over suicide. The frame became smaller, safer, less destabilizing. The bigger question slowly drifted away. Not because it was answered, but because it was inconvenient. Let's be precise. Epstein is dead. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted. And largely, that's where it ends. No cascade of indictments, no sweeping institutional collapse, no public trials of powerful figures. For a case involving international trafficking, financial leverage, and elite connections, the consequences were minimal. Justice happened downward, not upward. And that pattern is not unique to this case. Here's what's uncomfortable. The system didn't collapse. It absorbed the shock. Public outrage flared. Headlines surged. Politicians promised answers. And then, the noise faded. The structure remained. Because powerful systems are not fragile. They are adaptive. Remove one visible node and the network rebalances. Not dramatically, quietly. Every system survives on one thing: people choosing not to look too closely, not because they are evil, but because looking has consequences, discomfort, responsibility, and risk. Epstein did not operate in total secrecy. Rumors existed, warnings existed, settlements existed, but knowing is not the same as acting. And that gap between awareness and action is where power survives. Truth isn't a document dump. It isn't a viral headline. It isn't one exposed name. Truth requires sustained attention. It requires refusing convenient endings, refusing to shrink uncomfortable stories, refusing to confuse silence with resolution. The Epstein Files matter, not only for what they reveal, but for what they still conceal. Epstein is gone. The island is empty. The outrage cooled. The files remain incomplete. But the conditions that allowed him to exist, unchecked wealth, social immunity, institutional caution, elite protection, are still here. Not hidden, not destroyed, just normalized. So maybe the most uncomfortable question isn't who protected him or who knew. It's this: how many systems must quietly cooperate for something like this to continue for decades? Because power rarely survives through secrecy alone. It survives through indifference. And indifference is still here.